Kim. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Soulfire. Sometimes Tim is here, but today he is actually working on an art project. He's painting his van, and I'm sure it has some kind of peaceful vegan message on it. I can't wait to see it, and as soon as I see it, I'll share it with all of you too. So when he was at work, it was such a beautiful day here. I actually went to the park and did some reading, and I love to revisit books that I've read in the past because I think that whenever we reread things, it hits us in a different way, or it strikes us in a new way, and we think of new things. And this time I was reading Skinny Bitch, the New York Times bestseller, about just taking care of yourself through eating a plant-based diet. And I read a chapter on dairy, and this might be a longer video, but I wanted to read this to you because when I became vegetarian and vegan, I felt duped, and I really used those words. I've been duped! You know, like I've not been told the truth about taking care of myself and about food. And while those advertisers and those big industries, the meat industry and the dairy industry, are so huge, they spend billions of dollars trying to advertise what they sell. But don't listen to me, don't listen to these authors. You have to go out and investigate yourself, and you have to try things yourself to see what makes you feel better. So after I read this excerpt, I'm actually going to share with you one of my most favorite cheeses of all time, and it only has 5 ingredients, 6 counting water, to make this wonderful, delicious herbed cream cheese that you can eat on crackers and breads or crudités or just by itself. It's amazing. It's so good, and when you taste it, you won't even believe it's a non-dairy cheese. And then I'll share some other cheeses you can buy that are already made at the store that are my favorite, and I've tried them all, so hopefully you'll like them too. So this is a chapter called The Dairy Disaster, and I wanted to read a few pages to you, or paragraphs I should say. Cows, like all mammals, are much the same. Their bodies produce milk only when they give birth. Contrary to popular belief, they do not need to be milked ever. Their udders, like women's breasts, exist even when there is no milk in them. There is one major difference, however. Cow's milk, by design, grows a 90-pound calf into a 2,000-pound cow over the course of 2 years. It allows calves to double their birth weight in 47 days and leaves their 4 stomachs feeling full. Sounds even more fattening than human milk, right? So earlier in the chapter it said that in regards to human milk, it can grow an 8-pound newborn into a 24-pound toddler. And by design, it's intended for that, to allow for the biggest growth spurt of a person's entire life. It says that breast milk alone can accommodate for 300% weight gain in a 12-month period. So when her child is anywhere from 12 to 24 months old, a mother stops breastfeeding. Her milk dries up. The child will never drink breast milk ever again. Well, cows are bigger than humans, and the inner workings of their bodies are completely different than ours, which they should be. They are cows, and we are humans. Duh. Mammals need the enzyme lactase to digest lactose, the sugar found in dairy. However, between the ages of 18 months and 4 years, we lose 90 to 95% of this enzyme. The undigested lactose and the acidic nature of pasteurized milk encourage the growth of bacteria in our intestines. All this contributes to a greater risk of cancer because cancer cells thrive in acidic conditions. It's all about keeping that pH balance of your body alkaline and not acidic. Got mucus? Dairy products produce mucus, and often the body will develop a cold or allergies to fight the dairy invasion. Mother Nature is no fool. All species, including ours, have just what we need to get by. She did not intend for grown-ups to suck their mother's tits. We don't need our mother's milk as adults, just like grown cows don't need their mother's milk anymore. We are the only species on the planet that drinks milk as adults. We also are the only species on the planet that drinks the milk of another species. We could be putting gorilla milk on our cereal or having zebra milk in cookies. So why cow's milk? Using the animal that produces the largest quantity of milk but is more easily housed than an elephant means more money for farmers. It has nothing to do with health or nutrition. Again, it all comes back to money. The dairy industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry based on brilliant marketing and the addictive taste of milk, butter, and cheese. It has convinced most doctors, consumers, and government agencies that we need cow's milk. We have been told our whole lives, you need milk to grow. Without milk, your bones will break. If you don't drink milk, you'll get osteoporosis. You need the calcium. Bullshit. Researchers at Harvard, Yale, Penn State, and the National Institute of Health have studied the effects of dairy intake on bones. Not one of these studies found dairy to be a deterrent to osteoporosis. On the contrary, a study founded by the National Dairy Council itself revealed that the high protein content of dairy actually leaches calcium from the body. So when you're drinking milk from a cow, it's taking out the calcium from your body, that calcium that needs your bones to be strong. After looking at 34 published studies in 16 countries, researchers at Yale University found that the countries with the highest rates of osteoporosis, including the US, Sweden, and Finland, were those in which people consumed the most meat, milk, and other animal foods. Another study showed that though 40 million American women have osteoporosis, only 250,000 African women have bone disease. In fact, of the 40 tribes in Kenya and Tanzania, only one, the Maasai, has members suffering from osteoporosis. And the Maasai, as it happens, are a cattle-owning, milk-drinking tribe. Dairy products have been linked to a host of other problems too, including acne, anemia, anxiety, arthritis, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, fibromyalgia, headaches, heartburn, indigestion, irritable bowel syndrome, joint pain, osteoporosis, poor immune function, allergies, ear infection, colic, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, autism, Crohn's disease, breast and prostate cancers, and ovarian cancer. Harvey and Marilyn Diamond, authors of the best-selling follow-up Fit for Life 2, clearly state dairy products are disease-producing. They're harmful. They cause suffering. They're the perfect thing to eat if you want to be sick and have a diseased body. The dietitians and nutritionists who are mouthpieces and cheerleaders for the dairy industry telling you that dairy products are a good food should hide their heads in shame, not only for leading the innocent to believe that dairy products are actually valuable, but also for failing to keep abreast of the field about which they are supposed to know something. Yes, we are saying it is common knowledge in the medical research field that dairy is bad for you. Yes, we are saying that executives in the dairy industry are well aware of this fact, but make claims that milk does a body good. How do they get away with this? Easily. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year to market their products, and average consumers don't spend their time perusing medical journals, but they do read magazines and watch television. And what about medical doctors? Why do they believe that milk is beneficial? It is a sad fact that in this country, most doctors know almost nothing about nutrition. According to a Senate investigation, doctors receive less than 3 hours of nutritional training in medical school. And they have been duped like the rest of us. Okay, so hopefully that just gives you a little insight about the dairy industry. But really, it's all about independent investigation in our lives, not just about food, but about everything. So please do that. Learning doesn't stop when you leave school. Learning lasts forever, throughout your whole lifetime. So just do it. You'll love it. I like to say ignorance is bliss and knowledge is ecstasy. It feels so good. Okay. So the 2 cheeses that I love, that I get, you can get it at most grocery stores or definitely at Whole Foods, is Daiya. I love Daiya. This brand is actually the most flavorful. I love getting this wedge. I'll just slice it and I'll just eat it with grilled cheese, or I'll just have it with an apple. This one is the Havarti style wedge with jalapeno garlic, and this one's actually very spreadable. So I'll just spread it on a slice of good bread and have it as a snack if I'm just famished and need something to eat while I'm making my dinner. And then something I bought recently, but I'm really in love with, and I've heard about it for a long time, is teas. And this is the creamy cheddar cheese sauce. And I actually made it recently to make some cheesy spinach potato casserole for a brunch we recently had. And it's so good. A lot of vegan cheeses are not good by themselves, but might taste a little better if melted. These 2 are awesome. Daiya makes shredded cheese, which, okay, is not so good by itself, but it's amazing on pizza. It has that melty characteristic. It's delicious. Okay, now onto our herb cream cheese, and I think I'm running out of time, so all you need is 2 cups of cashews, and I actually, instead of 2 cups of cashews, I actually use 1 1/4 cups of cashews and 3/4 cup of pine nuts, because pine nuts give this a really amazing, like, kind of Parmesan taste. I have some chopped chives and a teaspoon of sea salt, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and 1/4 cup of fresh lemon juice, and I'll post the recipe below. And all you need is a food processor for this. So all you do is put everything into your food processor. And when we eat cheese, or when we crave cheese, it's mostly because we're craving that fattiness. We're addicted to that fat and that salt. You know, cheese has a very high salt content. And those are things that are just not the best things for your body. And I'll add this sea salt, and you'll want to have sea salt or even pink Himalayan salt instead of that Morton's iodized salt that is actually poison for your body. So sea salt or pink Himalayan salt is beautiful. And I'm going to mix this. So it's the cashews, the lemon, the sea salt, and I'm going to add a little bit of water at a time. So I'm just going to add a few tablespoons right now. And then blend this up, and then I'll add it, you know, tablespoon by tablespoon. And I'll blend it until it's creamy. And then I'll add my chives into it. And then I also like to add black pepper with it too. You won't believe it. You're gonna love